Guiding aside, girls and guys, no do to record, look into do into the dungeon. We will explore many floors and the many complexities of the rooms that we might not know what monsters lay within it, but what matters is if we stick together, we can face all of the monsters and be able to reach the 18th floor, where more bosses, well, one boss will appear before us, even though it's only appeared once, and plus we get a lot of free help, because Leveria is there with its town of rogue adventurers to help us win the battle. You know, I gotta be honest. That was all free, not free. I mean, it is free. It's free to watch this episode, like all the other episodes. That was a freestyle intro. Like halfway through, I'm like, maybe I can turn this into something cool, and it ended up being something cool. Sort of. Anyway, welcome. Welcome back to another episode of Dungeon de Motomere no Mashigata Iru Daro ka Memoria Freese Y2. Episode 556. Where we're going to be doing a lot of stuff. And I say we're going to do a lot of stuff. But if I'm being honest, in this, as I'm recording this episode, in this moment, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do what I said I was going to do. Because I have a pretty bad record of not being able to keep my promise. When it comes to this series. At times. Not like every episode not like every episode I break a promise, but there are times. And so, depending on how long this episode is, obviously you would know this since you're watching the episode after it's been recorded. Yeah, that makes sense. You would know how long this episode is, but I myself do not know how long this is going to be. I'm not sure if it's going to be an hour, which is what I want it to be, because that's what I said it would be last episode. Or it could just be 10 minutes. So, let's find that out. I'm going to find out. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a very interesting episode, like all episodes. Memoria Freese. So let's start off with a good old ELVEN RONDO heroic trials thing. And while we got that going on, I'm going to move upstairs, because currently I'm downstairs, so and I really don't want to be downstairs. I'd rather be in my room for this hour episode, because if it's good, then I have to be comfortable. I'm not saying that the downstairs of my house isn't comfortable, it's just I prefer upstairs more than downstairs sometimes. I do have a lot of things to rant about. Or not a lot of things to rant about, but I have some things to rant about that will take a long time to rant about. And there is some things that I am going to do besides play the game, like I said last episode, like I usually do when it comes to ELVEN RONDO heroic trial episodes in the cycle. But I'm not going to do them just yet. So, hold on a second. Alright. Let's get that. I also want to fix everybody's weapons. We're gonna be doing a lot more for this episode than just ELVEN Rondo and training. Okay, I'm gonna... That's way too loud. I really should turn that down. Okay. Okay. No. Okay, no, there you go. Had it lagged out. Okay, there you go. I had it lagged out again. Or lagged out again. Alright. We'll do this one last battle. And then I gotta fix the weapons. Because I don't want that to bother me anymore. It's been like that. Just setting up over here. So, even though the episode has begun, it's not really begun at the same time. Okay. I think I'm ready for this episode. Properly. It only took 7 minutes, but we're good. Alright. Say I'm ready, and then I'm not. Hold on. Need to get comfy. Because I wanna focus on the game for once. I know I do that every episode, but I wanna... It's time to actually play the game. Alright. In the sense of things. Anyway, before we start ranting, blacksmith. Change equipment. Or not change equipment. We need to repair stuff, right? I don't know who's on the peak team, so I'm just gonna repair everybody's. Okay, so. You know what? While I'm here, I'm gonna repair every. I'm just gonna repair all the weapons, so it doesn't become a pain later. I have the Valis. I'm alright. Okay, that's gonna get him. Oh, hey, look at that. That's a bit easier, isn't it? Now that I think about it. Let's do that for the armor as well. Alright, cool. That's really easy. So now can this go without a height? Alright, so we're gonna be doing this for like 20 more minutes while I talk about stuff. So, as usual, we're gonna get the usual stuff out of the way. Fundraiser, if you don't know about it, Mr. Beast fundraiser to get 20 million trees planted before the beginning of 2020 by raising $20 million. $1 donated is 1 tree planted. Of course, this is, like I said, set up by Mr. Beast and Mark Robber, along with the Arbor Day Foundation, and it's pretty cool. And I still haven't donated, and I'm very mad that I haven't donated. Tevin and Mark, but I need to. I'll make it a goal that before the end of the weekend, I think, tomorrow I'm gonna donate once and for all, because it's been like 2 or 3 weeks since the fundraiser started and I haven't done anything except, promote it. Or helped promote it. Anyway, besides that, alright, onto the rants. Onto the rants that isn't usual. So, hold on. Okay. At the end of last episode, I think, I talked about that Netflix did an original animated series on the Dr. Seuss book, Green Eggs and Ham, and I think I said that I liked it a lot last episode, but I'm not. It's not that I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure I didn't give anything else away besides that. So I'm going to talk about that, because I already finished the show. I'm not going to give any spoilers to what happens. If you want to watch it for yourself, it's on Netflix, watch it. Or you can watch the first 8 minutes here on YouTube. But my thing is that I really like the show because the Dr. Seuss books are so, are made for children, right? They're made for children, and they're entertaining, they're colorful, vibrant. They have good rhyming, it's whimsical, it's funny, it's everything. But they're really short and simple stories. And for, such a short and simple story about a guy called Guy Am I not liking green eggs and ham, and another guy called Sam I Am trying to get Guy Am I to eat green eggs and ham, in different scenarios. It's funny that they made that into a show. That the green egg doesn't just matter in one way, it matters in a bunch of ways, which, again, I won't explain further, but because I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil anything. But yeah, I think it's super cool how they made such a simple, from such a simple book, a simple and entertaining book, and they took that and made it into a great animated series with a deep lore that has lore. It has, the characters have deep emotions. They have complexities. And it's really interesting. It really is interesting. Because they do so much, like I said, they do so much for each individual character. And though the story has it, though the show has its story that looms throughout the 13 episodes it has, in a sense, the characters themselves have their own story within the grand scheme of things. And I really like that, because it's multiple things to think about. Which, I mean, isn't new thing. That's not new. It's not groundbreaking. When it comes to any show, there's many things to think about, depending on what show. Yeah, depending on the show, there's a lot of things to think about in the show that's happening in the show and whatnot. But especially this one. There's just a lot to take in. There are some plot twists that throw you for a loop. And usually I kind of catch plot twists, you know, because I've watched enough shows, enough anime, to the point where I can see where one thing is gonna lead to what, or how one thing will end and one thing will begin, and this and that. But there's sometimes where, like, it's ever rarely, you know, sometime, there's always that one time, ever rarely, that I get incredibly surprised by a show, like Green Eggs and Ham. The plot twist in that was huge. Another, like, speaking of, like, huge plot twist that I didn't see coming, and I am going to spoil this, so spoiler alert for Assassination Classroom Seasons 1, 2, and final season, I think. Just want to list them all off, and because I don't remember which season it's from. But when Kaede, I'm sorry if I'm saying her name wrong, but when Kaede revealed herself to have tentacles and say, oh yeah, she was just acting this whole time and trying to be a part of the group to ultimately kill Kuro-sensei, like, that threw me for a loop. I'm like, excuse me? Like, that's insane. And so, I'm surprised that what I thought to be such a simple book that was turned into such a complex show pulled the twist off like that I couldn't even see. So yeah. Again, I suggest you watch it for yourself. And I find it really interesting. Like, not talking about the show, but I am talking about the show. I find it interesting, the ending. I'm not gonna talk about the ending, because, again, I don't want to spoil it. But I like how it's that one small thing that you're told in the show. Well, not really small, but small. It's that one small thing in the show that you really don't catch until, like, the final second, and then they use that to be, like, the cliffhanger into the next season. And so I like that. So yeah, there's gonna be a second season. I'm not gonna explain how, because again, I don't want to spoil it. I'm probably sounding like a broken record at this point, but watch it. Watch it if you want to know what I'm talking about. But all in all, great show, great characters, great everything. And the one thing, here's the final thing. This is the final thing about the show that I'll talk about. The fact that the show was made by Ellen DeGeneres, blew my mind. Like, I didn't know that she made the show until I watched the intro of the first episode, and I saw her name, not in the credits, but in the introductory credits, sure. I thought that was awesome. I think she did a great job. I think everybody who worked alongside Ellen did a great job. Everyone did a great job with this show. And from what I've seen, I haven't seen anyone on YouTube do any reviews on it. But if there are any reviews, I'm gonna try to find them and hear what other people have to say, because whoa, it was great. Anyway, 20-minute mark. We're gonna move away from that. And I want to talk about... let's see. I want to talk about Rick and Morty, which I think is also something I brought up last episode that I didn't talk about too much. So Rick and Morty, Rick and Morty's great. It's a great show. Rick's funny, Morty's funny, Summer's funny. I forgot the dad. Was it Jerry? Yeah, Jerry something. Beth, also, yeah, before I say Beth, anything about Beth, spoilers if you haven't seen Rick and Morty seasons 1 through 3, because I'm talking about all of them. Not every single episode in-depth analysis, but I'll be flipping back to back between thoughts. So, there's your warning. Anyway, and then Beth, possibly, not being the real Beth and instead being a clone. I found the show, I think it was 2 years ago. It was before Memoria Freese that I found the show. And it was when I heard that there was this show called Rick and Morty that the 3rd season aired, unannounced on April 1st, after not being on air for like 2 years or a year and a half. And that really surprised me. And so I decided, since season 3 I think was gonna happen, I don't want to say November, I think it was like summer? It was summer, I think it was like July 31st, somewhere around that time, that the first episode came out. Since, it was gonna be a while until July 31st, I decided to watch seasons 1 and 2, to catch up with the story. And, I really enjoyed it. It's the Adult Swim type stuff. But, I handled it back then. It's dark, it's not dark all the time, but it has its dark moments. It's funny. It has a good plot, it has a good premise. It's really wacky. It's cool. And when the 3rd season rolled around, of course the cliffhanger from season 2 that bled into the introduction of season 3, I thought that was great. I think that was the Rick Shank Redemption, right? I thought that first episode of season 3 was so good. It was funny that Rick was like, was getting into the minds between different Ricks, and ultimately being able to save Morty and Summer. I thought that was super cool. And then that basically they won basically Rick escaped confinement of the Federation, or the Federation of Ricks, or whatever. Again, it's been a while since I've watched Rick and Morty, but these are little spouts that I remember. And so that's cool that they escaped and all that. But with, I'm gonna forget his name. It was something Bird. What's his name? How do I forget this guy's name? Oh, come on. Okay, well, I'm gonna miss it. But Rick had this friend. You know what I'm talking about? Bird Guy. Bird Guy. Sorry if I forgot his name, but that's all I can remember him. Bird Guy. Bird Guy and Tammy, or something like that. They survived the destruction of the Federation or whatever. Now they're his enemies, and there's another enemy who's Evil Morty. And there's theories about like Evil Morty being Rick's original Morty or something like that. And I think Evil Morty is also really cool. I think the episode again, I forgot which episode it was in season 3, but I think the episode which was completely separate from Rick and Morty, and well, I mean it wasn't, but it was separate from the original Rick and Morty we know, and instead focused on the lives of the Ricks and Mortys in Ricktropolis. I don't know what it's called. In sort of like the aftermath of the destruction of the Federation or whatever. I like that whole episode where we got to see like the city life, or how like the other Ricks and Mortys interact with each other, and how evil Morty, you know, was found out and all that. It was a really wacky episode. I loved that episode. And I guess if I have any problems with Rick and Morty, it would have to be the finale of season 3. Because season 3 was an overarching thing with Jerry and Beth being separated after the first episode. And I thought it was interesting that, you know, they were separated, because they usually they weren't separated in season 1 and 2. And so, yeah, it was interesting. It was an interesting plot line. And when it ended at the end of the season, and Jerry finally got back into the family, I mean, I was happy, but I don't know, the final episode didn't strike me as really like, whoa! But all in all, it was good. Good show. Great times, great characters, great side characters. Mr. Poopy Butthole. Truly an outstanding citizen. If I do say so myself. I also like that the creators of the show, are friends with the Gravity Falls creator, and how their shows were sort of combined in a way, explained by theories or like Easter eggs. So I like that. And of course, Gravity Falls is a great series too, if you haven't seen it, which I'm pretty sure a majority of people have seen that. If you haven't, I wonder. But yeah, Rick and Morty's great, and I hope that with this 4th season, I mean, I've seen the trailer, it looks like it's gonna be a hell of a time, but I hope with this 4th season, not only do we have, like, more funny adventures, and, well, funny, crazy, and dark adventures with Rick and Morty, but I hope we get to progress the plot, between Bird Guy and, or Evil Morty, because I wanna see more of them. Because they ordered 70 episodes. Yeah, they got an order of 70 episodes, and so, a lot can happen with 70 episodes. So I'm excited. It's gonna be hard. Even if we don't get to progress the plot, like the overall arcing plot of Rick and Morty in this next season, at least we'll have some more fun times. That's what matters, right? But we're just gonna have to find out tomorrow, and when the first episode of season 4 comes out. That's what I love. Not love. That's what I think is so funny about season 4, which I haven't said, but what I think is so funny about season 4 is that it's split up in 2, and so first 5 episodes now, and then second part, which is like another 5, maybe 6 episodes, is gonna be next year. It makes sense, but sort of not at the same time, I guess. 30-minute mark, but yeah. Anyway, now that I've ranted about that more than I'd wanted to, let's move on. Let us move on to something that can allow me to get more progress in this game done. Okay. So far, we're 30 minutes in. And that means that we're doing good.